Have you ever found yourself, for no clear reason, looking up at the sky? Not because of a plane, not because of the weather, not even because of a sound, just an impulse, one you can't quite explain. This gesture is older than cities, older than language itself. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, looking up meant survival. In the sky, there could be predators, approaching storms, or signs that could change fate itself. Our brains are especially sensitive to what's above us, because in evolution, danger often came from where you weren't looking. Even today, when someone suddenly looks up, you instinctively follow, not out of curiosity, but a leftover survival response. Before clocks existed, the sky told us time. Before maps existed, the stars showed us the way. Looking up was not just about survival. It was about understanding the world. Humans are the only species that ask questions of the sky. We see shapes in clouds, tell stories among the stars, and search for meaning in endless darkness. Looking up is really asking one question: I am here, so who am I? Maybe you don't look up because something is in the sky. Maybe you look up because you're searching for yourself. For most of human history, the sky was not romantic. It was a threat, a warning, a force beyond control. Before the thunder, you look up, because evolution taught us changes in the sky are never gentle. Looking at the sky is actually about one thing: prediction. The shape of clouds, the direction of the wind, the color of light. These details once decided whether a tribe would survive another day. Today, we rarely truly see the sky. City lights hide the stars, and yet you still look up, because this gesture is written into your nervous system. When humans first left Earth, we finally understood why we always looked up. Because looking up made us realize we are not the center of the universe. Next time you find yourself looking up, don't rush to look away. That moment is one you share with ancestors hundreds of thousands of years ago. Looking up at the sky is not escaping reality. It's reminding yourself where you come from. There is a pattern you may have never noticed. The quieter it gets, the more likely you are to look up. When external noise fades, the brain searches for a larger space. Humans cannot tolerate total emptiness, so we turn the sky into a canvas. Myths, religions, constellations, extraterrestrial civilizations, all were born the moment we looked up. When humans are sad, they often look up, not to see something, but to avoid drowning in emotion. The sky gives us an illusion that emotions are temporary. When you realize how small you are, there are two choices: look down or look up. Looking up doesn't make you bigger, but it makes smallness less frightening. Imagine a world where no one looks at the sky. That would not be a victory of technology, but the disappearance of curiosity. The sky has never answered us, but it gave us a direction. You look up not because you are lost, but because you know there is more ahead. No matter how long you look, the sky never responds. It doesn't agree, doesn't reject, doesn't answer. And strangely, that's exactly why we keep looking up. Our brains were not designed to understand the universe. They only needed to know where it's safe and where it's not. But the sky exists beyond that scale. When you stare at the sky long enough, your sense of time fades. Minutes or millennia begin to blur. This is not an illusion. It's you, briefly, stepping outside the human scale. Children look up far more often than adults, because they haven't learned to ignore the unknown. Growing up is not losing the ability to look up. It's learning to pretend that the sky doesn't matter. When you look up, you briefly step out of your role. You are no longer just an employee, a parent, a viewer. You become a being aware of its own existence. Maybe looking up isn't about finding answers. It's about reminding yourself what you're experiencing right now is not all there is. The sky has no meaning, but it makes us search for meaning. You don't remember the first time you looked up at the sky. It wasn't recorded, it wasn't important, it wasn't even noticed. And yet, before you learned how to understand the world, your body had already recognized the sky. This gesture was not a personal choice. It was a memory etched into your nervous system hundreds of thousands of years ago. Before cities, before roofs, before the idea of safety, the sky was never just a backdrop. It was a source of signals, a direction of danger, the only place that warned you before it was too late. One glance upward could mean survival. One missed moment could mean extinction. So humans learned a simple rule. When something feels wrong, look up. Even today, this reflex remains, even in safe cities, even when logic tells you nothing is coming from above. When someone suddenly looks up, your eyes follow. Not out of curiosity, not imitation, but a deep evolutionary agreement. If someone noticed something, you cannot afford to miss it. When you stare at the sky long enough, something subtle happens. Time loses its edges, minutes feel shorter, hours feel irrelevant, because the sky does not operate on a human rhythm. In its presence, your life scale stretches, your worries shrink, and you briefly step outside the present moment. When people feel lost, they often look up, not because the sky has answers, but because the ground no longer does. When the world in front of you feels too small, too crowded, too loud, looking up becomes the brain's quiet escape route. When you look up, you briefly stop being a role. You are not a job, not an age, not a label. You become a living being aware of its own existence. The sky has never answered humanity's questions, but it made us willing to ask them. You don't look up because you are lost, but because you know, beyond this world there is a larger scale, and you are standing within it. On the ground, we are constantly comparing speed, achievement, progress. But the moment you look up, comparison begins to fail. The sky does not care who you are or how far you've come. There is no ranking, no finish line, no concept of falling behind. And that's why a strange calm appears, not because problems are solved, but because comparison disappears. Our lives are tightly bound to the present moment, the next message, the next decision, the next required response. But the sky does not belong to now. It exists on a longer timescale, days, seasons, millennia. When you look up, you're not escaping reality. You're briefly stepping outside the present. When people feel lonely, they often look up, not because the sky keeps them company, but because it demands nothing. No performance, no explanation, no need to improve. Before the sky, you are allowed to simply exist. That's why sometimes you don't want to talk. You just want to look up for a while. Our world is built around humans. Human time, human scale, human meaning. But the sky belongs to no species. It existed before us and it will exist after us. When you look up, you briefly realize you are not the center of the universe, but you are still part of it. Technology will change. Cities will grow taller. The world will move faster. But this gesture will never disappear, because it doesn't belong to culture, education, or any era. It belongs to the ability to sense something larger than ourselves. As long as humans can feel small, they will look up. Next time you catch yourself looking up, don't rush to look away. It's not distraction, not wasted time, not escape. It's your body remembering something, that you live in a world far larger than you imagine.